Hello there, and this is Auntie, and I am coming out here to answer some of your questions, some of your comments that you all have had. You all have been so active, my nieces and nephews, and I wanted to make sure that a lot of your questions were answered. I'm also going to be reading to you some of the things that have come from Precious Tucker, who is one of the daughters. She is the fourth daughter who was featured on Iyanla Fix My Life. And the reason why I'm doing this is because there's been so many comments and so many questions and just so many things that have been said. And Auntie thinks that it's a good thing for me to sit and do this with you, have this chat time with you to just discuss those things and kind of just do a review after the review. So if this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Auntie would love to have you here. And for all my other sweet nieces and nephews, y'all know what it is. If I can't have nothing, I sure want you. Love you all, so let's get ready. Let's do this review after the review.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie, right? Having one, it just would be nice. 'Cause everybody needs a sweet old auntie, right? So welcome to Auntie's Advice.
Hello there. Auntie has her glasses on because she uses these suckers for reading, okay, not for beauty. So if I'm not looking beautified in my glasses, please excuse Auntie. Okay, okay, okay. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start reading some of the comments that I have received from some of you all on my YouTube channel. And one thing that Auntie loves is she loves for you all to comment on her channel. It means a lot to be able to hear from you, and it means a lot for me to have good content that you all are interested in. I noticed that when I put the Braxton family values videos up that you all didn't like them, y'all weren't feeling them at all. Okay, okay, okay. And so what I made sure that I did is not ever do another review on the Braxton's family values. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through here and I'm going to look at some of the comments. I'm going to read the most recent ones first because those are the ones that I haven't really had an opportunity to get back to. As you all know, Iyanla Fix My Life has been on for the last 2 weeks, and after the review, after the show, I do a review on them, and I upload them for you all to be able to, see it and give your opinion, and you all have done just that. And so I'm going to start off. Yes, I'm going to call off your name if your name is here. Hope you're not offended, because if you put your comments down and then you don't have no problem with it. So we're going to go to it's so currently I have on under the comments 95 comments. You all been talking, okay? So I'm going to read one from a Barbara Sutton. Barbara says, I think the mother needs to be separated from her daughters for a while until she is able to heal herself. She needs counseling on a much deeper level. My heart goes out to her. I know she truly loves her daughters and grandchildren deep now. Never give up on a person who has been wounded. Recovery and healing is possible. I know this family will be healed. Give it time and love, and above all, God. Okay, so Barbara, after I read your comment, I kind of thought about what you said. And yes, I absolutely do believe that there is time for recovery and that God can heal all things. I do believe that the girls are going to probably have to do a lot of healing outside of their mom. When I thought about the episode in hindsight, which is always 2020, I thought about the girls, and I really wish that Iyanla had done this without the mom being present. I didn't think that she brought much to the table as far as really being truthful, open and honest with the girls about who she actually is. And so I thought that she shouldn't have been there. Sometimes, you think the best of people and you want the best, but, you have to believe a person is who they are when they show you who they are. And I believe that that is one of my biggest models. That is something that I teach my daughter. And yes, love thinks the best of people. According to First Corinthians, the 13th chapter, it's not touchy. It's not. It doesn't take an account of evil being done to it, but we also have to remember that we have to use wisdom. And the Bible also says, guard your heart with all due diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. And as we can see, that these issues of life have flowed into these girls' lives, and hopefully that generational curse of rape and incest and those kinds of things will stop with the children, with the grandchildren. But I do believe that there is a time that you have to walk away from certain situations and certain people. I truly believe that. I don't believe that an abuser or someone who is neglectful mentally, spiritually, or emotionally has the right to continue to stay in my life once I deem this to be toxic to me. And so I respect your opinion, Barbara Sutton. I thank you so much for your comment and everything, but I do believe that there is a time that you have to learn how to cut it off. And it's the same thing with parents when we have children who are unruly and who don't want to listen, and they want to do, basically what they want to do. There comes a time that you have to cut that child off, and you have to allow consequences to kick in. See, I believe that everything that we do has a reaping and a sowing process to it. I believe that whatever seeds you put in the ground are going to come up. And a lot of times when you plant a tree, for instance, you have sown that tree. You may not be the one to see it. It may be your children who see it. I believe that seeds that we sow in our lives as parents have a big effect on our children. Those seeds go in the ground, and they don't come up with one sapling or one suckling. They end up having branches and flowers and petals, and they become something bigger than what that little seed was. And so I believe that as parents, when we sow bad seeds, although we may not be able to reap, we may not reap it. I do believe that the sins sometimes of the parents come on the children, and that's why we have to be mindful about how we treat people, how we talk to people, how we interact with people. And I believe that this mom um, had a family, it looks like, and they had children, and there was problems in that family, and then she took those problems, and those problems magnified with her. And if the girls are not healed, and if they are not whole, they will also perpetuate the same thing. This mom allowed her daughter Precious to go and live with the very guy who raped her. Another thing that I looked at is the number 7, which is in the Bible is the number of completion. And everything happened with the mother and happened with the children in intervals of 7, or even 7 itself. And so, and it was 7 multiplied against itself. So you have this mom who has, these 6 kids, including herself, which makes 7. Then you have Precious, who has 7 children. The mother was initially raped when she was 7. She gave Precious away at 7 months. And so the cycle that is going on is almost a completed work. And so at those cycle times, those things need to stop. So prayerfully, Precious, who is out here on my YouTube channel, hello Precious, love you boo. Realize, Precious, that the number 7 is the letter of completion. Everything is made whole at 7. And you have 7 beautiful, wonderful children. And let this be the end of the curse of rape and molestation in your household and in your family. Seek the help that you need. I pray that God will put people in your life, people who are well balanced spiritually, mentally, emotionally, that they will be able to help you and give you the sound advice that you need for you and your 7 children. I am very thankful that you have chosen me as someone that you trust to come out and reveal yourself and reveal contents of the show. I really do appreciate you. I'm going to be reading some of your comments as well. But remember, that the number of 7 is wholeness. And remember that you are whole, your children are whole, your household is whole, your finances are whole. Remember to get up in the morning and say a confession over yourself. Speak that God will enlarge your territories and that He will be that God that healeth thee. He is an ever present help in the time of storm, and He will be there for you. We are all here for you, and we appreciate you, precious, in a way that you don't know. And I'm praying that you share this YouTube channel with your sisters because we are in support of them as well. And so, with that, I'm going to go to the next question. Okay, my next comment is from Deep Mind Unravel. Deep Mind says, Auntie, I'm a new sub. That beginning intro song was fire. I felt that in my bones. This episode had me looking for answers and waiting for some type of a sign of healing. This was all way too close. I hope and pray that some healing can take place. Thank you so much, Deep Mind Unravel, for your comment. And I want to say thank you very much. Auntie enjoys coming out here and singing for you all. That is a gift that God has given me, and I want to share that absolutely with the world. When you say that it is way too close, I think that there are a lot of people who were able to relate to this on some level or the other. And there's also been other individuals who have come out on this page and have said that they too have been abused, and they too have been adopted. And one thing about it is when you want to go to a place of deliverance and being set free from something, it's your confession that helps you. I'm not going to make this super spiritual, but I do believe in the word. It is my foundation, regardless of whether or not you all see me acting contrary to that. It is absolutely the foundation of who I am. And in the word, it says in Revelations, it talks about, and they overcame the devil by the word of their testimonies and the blood of the Lamb. And sometimes your testimony, you just talking and experiencing and going to other people and seeking help, will be that healing balm that you need. So when you all come out here, you make your comments and you understand and you feel the hurt that Precious felt. It is number one, compassion, because God was a compassionate God, and so we all were born with a certain level of compassion. There are some people, because of trauma and post-traumatic stress syndrome or whatever they may be experiencing, have learned how to shut that compassionate part off, which is what I believe we see with the mother. One of my subbies came out and told me that she thought that I was too harsh on the mother. And you know what? That's her opinion. I respect her opinion. I respect everybody's opinion. One thing that I can say about you all is that you're not disrespectful. And I appreciate that so much, because I've been on other people's YouTube channels and I see how people are disrespectful one to another, how they go out there and they shade each other and make really nasty comments. And that is one thing that I have not tolerated on my page, because I believe that we are all family. And when I call you all my nieces and nephews, I truly do believe that. Okay, but anyway, I digress. We're going to go on to something else. We're going to go back to this comment. So I do appreciate, you feeling that close to heart. I think that we all did. The episode really exhausted, I think, the emotional part of you, because number one, when you haven't been exposed to something like that, it's really hard to be able to relate to someone else who has gone through that. And so my hat's off to Iyanla. I know a lot of times I play around and say my bra off to him, but I do want to snap my bra, and that is just something that I do, because men take their hats off, women take our bras off, whatever. But my hat's off to her, because that had to be a lot for her to sit in that space with those women, those broken women, knowing that Keisha had called her and really felt like she was their last effort of being together. One of the things that Precious revealed was that when they were on their way to the taping, that she revealed to Shay that Shay's dad wasn't her dad. And that's something that we didn't see on air. But Precious has shared that here in the comment section. And so you think about what Shay endured, basically with the sister. The sister says she accidentally did it, and I believe that Precious accidentally did it. She probably thought that the sister knew. And and then on top of that, to find out that this man, I think that Precious said it was her dad. Let me go and see. I think that she said that it was her dad, and to find out that he raped her mom and raped her sister. So, there were multiple things that Shay discovered while she was there. I'm going to go and try to find the comment, the comment from her. I'm going to come back to y'all, I promise. So here's another comment. This comment is from Will 1982 Fields. He says, this particular episode series is unreal. These are some strong women. All I could do was pray for everyone involved. This warfare is complex and complicated. Honestly, the mother needed individual help first before inclusion with her daughter. She's empty. I've never watched such hurt. Great review, Auntie. I love to hear. Thank you, boo. That's my new little, my little cat. Okay, I had to bring her back out. I thank you so much for that, and I do agree with you, and I think that that was resounding within my comments, that a lot of you all felt like that the mother absolutely needed to have counseling outside of her daughters, because there was a breakdown that Iyanla really needed to do with the mother. I don't think that she knew that this was going to be as complicated with bringing the mother in, and or she wouldn't have done it. But it really was a distraction to the healing process for the sisters, and I'm hoping Precious let us know whether or not you and your sisters have been able to heal past this. I know you can't give a lot of information because you have one more week in the taping, and so I'm hoping that you'll be able to give us some insight on that. But my prayer is that the sisters were able to get something like that. It is extremely complicated and complex because it pulls your emotional strings from so many different areas. I mean, you're mad one minute, you're feeling compassion the next minute. It's just up and down. So can you imagine what those 7 people, including Iyanla, 8 people, had to endure, and even the staff that was there? It just really was a lot to see that. So let me go down. Let me find Precious' comment here. That girl says that animal should have his employer informed about this, and he should be fired. She said, at first I was thinking the animal was a friend of Shay. I think was more than that to her. If this video is correct, this is a very sensitive issue. So with that aspect, the animal said to itself, okay, I raped her mama, I raped her daughter, I will get to her other daughter by being a friend to her. Wow, she has a question mark and exclamation points. This animal has to be investigated by police. How in the hell you watch your other daughter grow up and probably notice the same signs of incest abuse that she had and never cared? You are right. She is evil and vindictive, hoarding life-saving information and watching the devastation. And that came from that girl. I There's a part of me that absolutely agrees with you, that girl. Because why would the mother hoard that information? You're absolutely correct. And watch the devastation of it. And not think that there's any consequences. And sometimes when people do things and they make bad and poor decisions, the consequences end up being yours. You end up adopting those consequences. If someone is in an automobile and they are driving reckless and you are in the car, if they have an accident, it wasn't any fault of your own. It was the actions of somebody else that actually caused you to be hurt and damaged. And the mother is an accident just waiting to happen. I absolutely agree. She calls him the animal. That girl, that girl. Okay, so let's go down and let's find y'all look at my glasses. Okay, let's find Precious. So I was able to find Precious comment, and she says the rapist is Shay's father. They were real close. So no wonder she was close to him. It's her dad. Precious further goes on to say, again, like I said, that my mother still hasn't taken, is what she meant to say, hasn't taken responsibility and woman up to tell her no one has but me and a cousin. So Shay just discovered that this guy who had been her dad um, is now not her dad, and the mother never owned up to it. I'm going to read a couple of more comments because I don't want to make this long and drawn out. I just want to make sure that I kind of got to you all. Precious, I made a comment to Precious and said, Precious, I know that you're overprotective of your kids. She answered and said, yes, I am very overprotective over my kids, and my family doesn't understand why. And then one of our nieces out there, her name is Leopard Prince. How cute is that? She says, Precious, I admire your strength so much. As an adoptee, I can relate to your feelings of abandonment from your mother, the grief you must have felt and still do. The fact you choose to be overprotective over your own kids shows that abuse victims can make choices to not expose their kids to abuse and to break the cycle. I wish you well. I thought that was a phenomenal, Leopard Prince. I agree wholeheartedly. When the mother sat up there and did that and said that this was, like a learned behavior, this was she knew, this all she knew, woo, 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 woo. I'm thinking in my mind, you got to do better. And I do want to take this time to really thank you all for reaching out to Precious, because it's got to be a lot for her to come out here and see the comments, see my review, relive it over and over and over. I'm sure that this was probably take months ago, and it's got to be hard for her. So you all, thank you so much for coming out here and encouraging Precious. Okay, to that, and I'm going to read comment. We had Arisa Forrester. She says, Precious Tucker, God bless you, Precious, for doing better. Thank you for sharing your truths and helping us all. I absolutely agree. Precious, thank you so much for sharing, the show. And I know that sometimes, when you see people on YouTube and stuff like that, and they do reviews, and you come out and you see them, and you think that a lot of people, on Joke Time and stuff like that. But Precious, you and your sisters mean a lot to us, and it really has touched us in an area where we would not have talked to. Things like this has given us opportunity to dialogue and to talk about these sensitive issues. Sometimes we want to push it under the table, and we want to cloak it in spirituality and say, well, let's pray about it, and let's do. All right, okay, all right. I digress. Next question. We had another comment, you all. This is going to be my last one for tonight because I do not want to make this long. But if you like it, I'll come back out there and do it again. We had another comment from a Marvin Morris. Marvin Morris is a mental health professional, and this is his comment. He says, I am a mental health professional, and what I see in the mother is denial, which goes hand in hand with addiction and shame, as well as a lot of internalized anger. This mother gave up a long time ago on herself and her ability to control things in her life. Now she and her children are paying the price. Even if the mother admits her part in the shaping of her family, it will not heal them. Each of the sisters need individual therapy before they can come together and understand each other. The hurt will never go away, but it can become bearable. You see the mother as cold, but I see a mother who is afraid of being broken into a million pieces. If she now admits her part in how her children have been affected by all of this. And yes, she does remember things differently because she was on drugs. Does this make it okay? No, it does not. Healing only takes place if you let go and let God. By admitting that she was helpless over her broken life and how you have passed that down to your children. Why did she continue having children? Because just as a drug addict will say and do, this time will be different. Although she is not on drugs, she still has the mindset of an addict. May God be with his family as they try to put the broken pieces together. Auntie, I love your reviews. Thank you, baby. I love your comments. I love you being here. Um, that's it in a nutshell. Marvin. Look, Pastor Marvin. Oh, God. No, I'm just kidding. That is it in a nutshell. Um, there's not much I can even say after that. I appreciate that comment. And yes, the mother was an addict. And yes, they do believe that this time will be different. This time I'm going to get it together. This time I'm going to be that mom. I do believe that. And yes, I see her as cold, but you as a mental health expert see it as something different. And so I appreciate that. But anyway, this is, I'm hoping that this was helpful. I'm hoping that this was insightful. I love you all to pieces. Precious, we are in your corner. Please like, subscribe, and share it with your sisters so that we as a community, a family, can be there for you. We love you, Precious. I love all of my subscribers. To my nieces and nephews, you all are absolutely wonderful. And God bless you all. Mwah.